Good evening and welcome into Cavalier Field. I am Justin Hergert alongside for this contest. It is a league contest between the A's and Hayes Larks. And the A's, after getting the Larks out, they would get runners on. They had a couple of runners on in the top of the first, but would get out of that situation. And now here we are in the bottom of the first with one away and a bases-loaded jam for the Larks. So we'll see what we can do here as Matt Perez steps up. Kane Carlos on at third, Ryan Buckley at second. Zach Hoskins on at first right now. One away for the A's. And here comes Matt Perez. Matt Perez, a true freshman, comes from Florida A&M University. Played in multiple games there this season, and the first pitch he sees is down low for ball number one. So the A's working on getting something going here. They've taken the lead early in multiple games, but haven't been able to hold on to it as that pitch is now for ball two. A 2-0 delivery coming from Stribling. Jordan Stribling on the mound for the Hayes Larks. Working from the first base side of the rubber, and it is ball number three. The Larks in danger of walking in a run. And we'll see what they can do here. The A's have morphed into the Boot Hill Lawman as that pitch is called strike. It's on the inside part of the zone, but a 3-1 count now to Perez. A's have to be wary of the double play ball. That pitch was left high, and that'll walk a run in. The A's take an early 1-0 lead on the RBI walk by Matt Perez. That brings in Paxton Huff. Paxton Huff up for the Dodge City A's. Huff hitting in the 6th hole tonight for the A's. So that pitch is delivered low for ball one. So the lineup looks like this for the A's. Leading off, it is Isaiah Velasco from left field. Batting second, the shortstop, Kane Carlos. Batting third, Ryan Buckley at first base. Batting cleanup is the designated hitter, Zach Hoskins. Batting fifth, third baseman, Matt Perez. Batting sixth, center fielder Paxton Huff. Batting seventh, Blake Coleman, the right fielder. That pitch is sent foul. Batting eighth, Edwin Silverio at second base, and rounding out the lineup, it is the catcher Kevin Hammond. Jaden Andrade got the start on the mound tonight for the Dodge City A's. As that pitch is delivered high. Is 2 balls and 2 strikes. One away for the A's. Bases still loaded. 1 run in so far in the inning. The A's left the bases loaded a couple of times last night. Couldn't take advantage of it, and the A's are hoping to take advantage here. Grounded up the middle. They'll go to short. Oh, it's bobbled by Stokes out at short. And 2 runs score. So the A's lead it 3-0. An infield single for Paxton Huff. So runners on first and second, and back-to-back strikes to Blake Coleman. So he'll foul that one off to stay alive. Coleman's down in the count 0-2, but the A's have scored 3 here in the bottom of the first inning. They lead this game 3-0. That pitch is swung on. Down goes Coleman on strikes, and that'll bring in Edwin Silverio. Silverio, the second baseman. The A's sending their 8th batter to the plate in this inning. Larks trying to get Stribling to settle down and see if they can get out of this with just the 3-run damage done. First pitch in for ball number 1. The Larks tonight with the gray uniforms, a blue stripe across the top of their shoulder, red numerals on the front, blue numerals on the back outlined in red. Of course, they're blue caps with the Larks logo. Called strike. The A's tonight have morphed into the Boot Hill Lawmen, their alternate identity for the season. So the A's with their black uniforms that says Boot Hill across the front, and then a golden yellow numeral on the back outlined in white. It is their black tops, white pants, and then their Boot Hill Lawman hat. So the count 2-2. Called strike 3, and that will end the inning as Silverio will go back to the dugout. He gets caught looking, and we are headed to the top of the second. The lower part of the order due up for the Larks when we return. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Tabor Stokes leads off for the Hayes Larks, and he'll take the first pitch he sees. It's a called strike. Has Stokes down in the count 0-1. Andrade misses outside a little bit on that one, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. The A's trying to bounce back after the 13-3 run rule loss last night in Hayes. Put them 0-1 in league play. Stokes will come up empty on a swing. He's down in the count 1-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Count runs full after Andrade misses outside into the opposite batter's box. See the payoff pitch. Feather River product, played his freshman season. Here comes Lorenzo Rios with nobody out, one on. Rios, the catcher in last night's contest. Shows bunt, lays it down, fielded by the third baseman Perez. Throw to first is in time. And out number one, but it moves the runner Stokes over to second. The Larks have a runner in scoring position.
The DH, number 20, Braxton Buer.
Brings up the designated hitter. It's back Braxton Buer. Buer pitched in the non-league contest against the A's and was pitched in last night's game as well. So tonight he's the DH. Takes first pitch for ball one, checks his swing, called strike, evens a count at one apiece. Called strike again, has Buer down in the count 1-2. Buer pitched 3 innings last night, gave up 4 hits on last night. Gave up 4 hits and 1 run. Walked 2 and struck out 3. 2-2 the count now to Buer. I stand corrected. That was on the 4th. Full count now. In the game last night, Buer also pitched 3 innings. 1 hit, 1 run, and struck out 4. Pitch is high, and that'll put runners on at first and second with 1 away. Brings up the 9-hole hitter, the catcher, Ray Jesse.
At the plate for the Larks, catcher number 3, Ray Jesse.
So Jesse steps in. There's 2 runners on. Pitch, fastball right on the edge for strike number 1. Andrade with 31 pitches so far in the ball game. Takes a look back at second, fires in. It's fouled off, goes to the backstop. Has Jesse down in the count 0-2. After a thunderstorm passed through earlier this afternoon, dropped some heavy rain and hail for a little bit, but here it is, sunshine and beautiful weather, and we're playing baseball. Swung on and missed. Jesse will go down on strikes, and that is the second out of the inning. They also chose Jesse as the beer batter, so discounted beer over at the beer cart here at Cavalier Field for about the next 15 minutes. So back at the top of the order, we have Lane Sparks. Sparks grounded out his last time up. A curveball left a little far outside, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Andrade set, takes a look over at second. Delivers a pitch on the edge, and it's called strike to even the count at 1 apiece to Sparks. Sparks has played in every game against the A's last night. Sparks was the leadoff hitter, as he is again tonight. 3 runs, 2 hits, 1 RBI, and walked once. Called strike, and that will even the count at 2 apiece. Sparks wasn't real happy with the call, but it is what it is. The game back on the 4th against the A's, Sparks was the cleanup hitter. Scored 1 run and walked 3 times. He struck out once as well. Pitch is fouled off. The count remains 2-2. Two away for the Larks. The A's looking to get out of this one with no damage done. Pitches outside and throw down to second. Not sure what they decided to do on that one, but it is ball 3, and both runners now in scoring position on the double steal. So a payoff pitch. Andrade looking in, has his sign and comes set. Delivers ball 4, left a little bit high. That'll load the bases. Here comes head coach Jeremiah McCollum. He's going to go out and have a conversation. The Larks have worked the bases loaded here, and the A's are trying to get out of this with no damage done to maintain their 3-run lead. The A's would sure like to hold the Larks at bay here, as the Larks scored in every inning last night. They scored but 2. So they scored 4 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth. They did not score in the 5th, was scored 3 in the 6th, none in the 7th, and 3 in the 8th. That gave them the 13-3 run rule victory. The A's 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and 1 in the 6th. That was last night's contest. Of course, it ended in the bottom of the 8th when the Larks scored that 3-run home run. Back up the middle. Oh, they say he's safe. So a fielder's choice and a run scores. Down on the count, 0-1 is C.J. Reed, and that one misses a little bit outside. Reed walked his last time up. Count even itself at 1 apiece. The 1-2 delivery from Andrade. It's delivered outside a little bit low. No work in either bullpen right now. Andrade now at 45 pitches. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch was fouled off, and count remains 2-2. Deuces wild across the top of the scoreboard. Bases loaded, 1 run in. So Buer at third, Sparks at second, Baker at first. That one sent high. It's headed out into left center field. There to pull it down is Paxton Huff, the center fielder for your A's, and that will end the inning. The Larks leave them loaded, and we are headed to the bottom of the second. Hammond, Velasco, and Carlos due up when we return. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. 1. Stribling controlling with zone control a little bit. The third baseman, Rios, is going to come in and have a little chat with Stribling. Rios was a catcher last night, so it may be some friendly advice about working on keeping it around the zone. So we'll go back to work. It is a 1 ball, no strikes count. Runners on first and second with nobody out, and the pitch misses. It is 2-0. The Lawmen looking for their first win against these Larks. They dropped the first game in a non-league contest back on June the 4th. They dropped that one 9-2. And then, of course, they fell last night in the league contest 13-3. So the A's are 0-2 against the Larks. And the pitch called strike is 3-1. Stribling delivers, called strike, and the count runs full. The payoff pitch left outside, and it loads the bases. So back-to-back innings, the A's have loaded them up. We'll see if they can continue to take advantage here. They did it last night. They would get a bases-loaded situation, but were unable to do anything as they would load them up with nobody out, and then strikeouts and groundouts would get the Larks out of that bases-loaded jam. In fact, it happened in the 4th inning. The A's would get a walk, a Matt Perez double, and then a Jaden Moreno hit by pitch loaded up, and then strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. And the A's left it loaded in a much-needed situation where they needed to score some runs. It was a home run ball last night that propelled the offense on both sides as well. Kane Carlos hit a solo home run over the left field wall for the A's, the only one that left the park. The Larks, however, they would get a leadoff home run in the bottom of the first, followed by a solo shot from Jackson Babcock 2 batters later, and then a 2-run home run from Tabor Stokes. That one went over the left field wall as well. And then a solo shot from Ray Jesse in the second. It was a inside the park home run. For Babcock. And then he hit the 3-run home run in the bottom of the 8th. That one went over the right field wall. So we'll go to work. It is a 1-0 count to Buckley. Buckley takes that pitch for strike 1. One and one the count. Buckley walked on his last time up. Buckley, one of the returners to the Dodge City A's, takes a pitch for a strike on the inner part of the zone, and it's 1-2. The A's want to try to hang with the Larks. They can ill afford to load the bases and get nothing out of it. This pitch is fouled off. Count remains 1-2. Stribling delivers outside. to even the count at 2 apiece. We've worked our way into the bottom of the second. The A's with 3 runs on 1 hit. The Larks with 1 run and no hits. There is work in the bullpen. Grounded at the shortstop. They'll go to second for 1, and the throw to first is in time. It is a double play ball, but a run scores, so the A's add to their lead. They lead this game 4-1.
Now batting number 9, Zach Hoskins.
So after the double play ball, 2 away, and here comes Zach Hoskins. Hoskins walked on his last time up. It's a pitch, misses low. It's ball 1. Dribbling at 58 now. Pitch is called strike. Evens the count at 1 apiece. The A's lead it 4-1. Pitch is inside. It'll hit Hoskins. That'll put runners on the corners. Well, the A's will take their opportunities any way they can get it, whether it's the free pass or putting the ball in play, and they're doing just that here. It's exactly what they need to do in order to try to take advantage and try to get a win against these Larks. Of course, the Larks, the reigning 2024 NBC champions. NBC stands for National Baseball Conference. Tournament played in Wichita, coming up at the end of July. The Larks already have an automatic bid, being the winners from last year. The league will get at least one more bid should the Larks be the league champions again, which they were last year. 1-1 the count to Matt Perez, who walked on his last time up. Perez puts it in play. It's fielded at second base. A throw to first. He'll flip over to first in time, and that will end the inning. The A's strand 2, but they get a run. We're headed to the top of the third. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Jaden Andrade returns to the mound for his third inning of work, and it is Jackson Babcock leading off. Drew a walk his first time up, and he's in the count at 2 balls and no strikes. Delivery from Andrade. He catches the inner part of the zone. Makes it 2-1. Talked to Jeremiah McCollum last night a little bit after the game, and he knows that these Hayes Larks are good as Babcock fouls that one off. One of the things that he said that we have to focus on is keeping the leadoff runner off. Of course, controlling the free passes as well, which was an issue for the A's last night. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count to Babcock. Andrade spikes that one in front of the mound, and the count runs full.
Next up, number 26, Dylan LaRue.
So that'll bring in Dylan LaRue after Babcock draws a walk. Runner on and nobody out. Throw over to first was not in time, so the A's, aware of the Larks' ability to run, they can run just like anyone else. So LaRue will see the first pitch miss to the outside for ball number 1. LaRue last night was the 7-hole hitter, moves up to the 5-hole tonight. Takes a pitch outside. 2 balls and no strikes. A hit by pitch, a single, a walk, and a ground out was the night at the plate last night for LaRue at home in Larks Park. Grounds out when it's on the infield, fielded by Carlos. The throw to first in time. A diving, no, I stand corrected. That was Edwin Silverio. I'm sorry. Silverio with a great diving stop kept it on the infield and got the out. So that moves Babcock over to second, and here comes Tabor Stokes, who was hit by pitch his last time up. Stokes sends one. It's high up the elevator chute. Kevin's tracking it. He'll pull it down, and a pop-up in foul territory, and 2 away. Lorenzo Rios is set to step in. He was a catcher last night for the Larks. Laid down a bunt up the third base line and was thrown out at first his last time up. The pitch, a little bit high for ball 1. Andrade catches the outer part of the zone with that one to even the count at 1 apiece. Beautiful night on hand for some baseball here at Cavalier Field. Grounded up the third base side. It rolls out into left field, and the throw back in. That'll put runners on the corners. Currently 72 degrees in Dodge City. And a breeze blowing from right to left across the field. Looks like there are some kids that have gathered on the little monument statue that's out past the center field wall. As Braxton Buer steps in. Buer, the 9-hole or 8-hole hitter, is the designated hitter tonight. Swung on and missed. Down in the count, 0-1. Buer walked on his last time up. This is the first offensive action that Buer has seen for the Larks against the A's. He has been the pitcher the last 2 times he's seen the Dodge City A's. The pitch is fouled off. Buer down in the count, 0-2. Dimensions here at Cavalier Field. It is 330 down both the right and left field lines. 348 into both the right and left power alleys. And, of course, 404 to dead red center. Pitch is left high. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 away. Lorenzo Rios over at first. Babcock over at third. The A's trying to hold the Larks scoreless in the inning. Pitch. A throw over to third, or first. Not in time. Rios takes off again, and Buer fouls it off. Count remains 1-2. We'll see if the Larks make a pitching change. There's no one down in the bullpen now. The pitch in. And that will hit Buer, and that loads the bases. So that'll bring in Ray Jesse. Jesse the catcher. He got caught swinging his last time up.
Next, the beer batter, number 3.
Nolan Huff looks like getting some warm-up throws in outside of the A's dugout. There was action down in the Larks bullpen earlier. We'll see if they elect to make the pitching change coming up into the bottom of the third. Andrade steps off, gets a reset, wants to get a new set of signs. Has them and comes set. Swung on and missed is Jesse, down in the count, 0-1. Babcock at third, Rios at second, Buer at first. The Larks would leave them loaded in the second inning as well. So the Larks have already stranded 5 as that one's put into play. And they go to second for the out. So the run will not score, and the Larks are held scoreless. We're headed to the bottom of the third. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. So the Boot Hill Gunfighters are going to put on a show. You can see that off to the left of the screen.
Give it up, fans.
Well, the Larks elect to leave Stribling out on the mound. Stribling now at 65 pitches and a 2-0 count to Paxton Huff. Huff singled his last time up. Takes a pitch for a strike. Makes a count 2-1. A's lead this one 4-1. Huff will swing and miss to even the count at 2 apiece. Payoff pitch coming from Stribling. Paxton grounds to the third baseman. He bobbles it. The throw to first, not in time. An error, party of third baseman. It's hard to call that one an error, but it was off his glove. It was a well-hit ball. So that'll bring in Blake Coleman. Coleman takes the first pitch he sees outside. Coleman went down swinging his last time up. The A's working to complete their second trip through the batting order. They're over to first, not in time. I said it earlier in the broadcast, but thunderstorms came through the area about 3:30 this afternoon. 3:30. Grounded up to the third baseman. They'll go to second for one. The throw to first in time. The double play, and now 2 out. So that'll bring up Edwin Silverio. Silverio got caught looking. He would end the bottom of the first. The A's lead at 4-1. Stribling trying to get out and get the A's to go 1-2-3. The first pitch in is ball 1. So I said earlier, thunderstorms came through about 3:30 this afternoon. Dropped some rain, heavy rain for a while, and some hail. We're out here playing baseball now as beautiful weather. Great night at the ballpark for a ball game as sun's out, good crowd on hand. Count 2 balls and no strikes to Silverio. A warm night last night at the ballpark up in Hayes. There's a 3 balls and no strike count to Silverio. And takes that one all the way. It's a called strike on the inner half. A 5-pitch walk puts a runner aboard and brings up the catcher, Kevin Hammond.
Now plate number 34, Kevin Hammond.
So Hammond steps in. He walked on his last time up. Grounded right back at the pitcher, and the throw to first in time for the final out of the inning, and the A's are held scoreless. They lead at 4-1. We're headed to the top of the 4th. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Welcome into Cavalier Field as Jaden Andrade returns to the mound. It is his fourth inning of work in his start tonight against the Hayes Larks. He'll face Sparks, Baker, and Reed due up here in the fourth inning. Sparks set to lead off. He walked on his last time up. Takes the first pitch he sees, and it's going to be foul and out of play. That one went up the elevator chute, but what goes foul behind us for strike number one. 0-1 delivery. Andrade fires a line drive back at him, and that is out number one. Andrade fired in, had his glove down just in the right position to catch that line drive right back. And that is one away. Here comes Trent Baker. Baker's over 2 in the ball game. Hit into a fielder's choice his last time up. Pitch misses for ball number one. Defensive alignment for your Dodge City A's, left to right in the outfield. Isaiah Velasco, Paxton Huff, and Blake Coleman. Ball 2 delivered. Third to first across the infield, it is Matt Perez, Kane Carlos, Edwin Silverio, and Ryan Buckley. Kevin Hammond behind the mound, and Jaden Andrade on the mound completes the battery for the Dodge City A's as a high fly ball. It's headed out into center field. Huff will run back about 5 steps, pulls it down, and that is out number 2. It's 2 away for C.J. Reed. He flew out his last time up. The A's would sure like to see the Larks go down 1-2-3 here in this inning. First pitch bounces inside for ball number 1. It would be a feat that was only accomplished once last night as the Larks would go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 7th. That pitch down the left field line, it is fair, just inside the warning track, and that will put Reed on at second. A double, the first extra bases hit, first hit of the ball game for the Larks. I stand corrected. That is the second hit of the ball game for the Larks. The Larks with 1 run, 2 hits, and an error. Pitch called strike 2 Babcock, who has walked both times he's been at the plate. 2 away. Runner in scoring position is C.J. Reed. Andrade delivers a check swing, and it's low to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Good crowd on hand. There's fans in the party pavilion and even some past the gate along the third base line, and that is ball number 2. The 2-1 pitch. A little bit outside, gets away from Hammond. That'll move Reed over to third. There is work down in the A's bullpen. There's also a pitcher out in the Larks bullpen. So after a quick mound visit between Hammond and Andrade, we're going to go back to work. The count, 3 balls, 1 strike to Jackson Babcock. The Larks working their 3rd trip through the batting order. We worked our way into the top of the 4th. And it is ball 4. So that'll put runners on the corners, and the A's desperately looking for an out. It brings in Dylan LaRue. LaRue 0 for 2, grounded out his last time up. LaRue, a hard out for the A's last night, was on base 3 of the 4 times he came to the plate. Down in the count, 0-1. LaRue sends this one in play, a high fly ball out into center field, but Paxton Huff taking about 5 steps in, and he'll pull it down. That is out number 3. That'll do it for the top of the third. The A's lead at 4-1, and it's the top of the order due up when we return. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Top of the order due up for your A's. It is Velasco, Carlos, and Buckley set to swing it here in the bottom of the 4th. Adrian Nahar on the mound for the Larks. It is ball 1. Isaiah Velasco 0 for 1 was hit by pitch his last time up. That pitch misses as well, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Nahar getting his first work against the Dodge City A's. Velasco swings and comes up empty, down, moves the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Sun's starting to sink here at Cavalier Field as pitch is called strike to even the count at 1 apiece. Shadows will start creeping their way across the field from left to right. You can see it from the scoreboard out in center field. Pitch is left high, a check swing by Velasco, and it's a full count. The payoff pitch from Nahar. He works from the first base side of the rubber. Delivered in. It's a high fly ball. It'll be out towards left field, but definitely playable and pulled down by LaRue for out number 1. So as well as the ball was flying last night at Larks Park, it's not tonight here at Cavalier. Of course, the wind blowing from right to left across the field, which is having an effect on things. But In steps Kane Carlos. He's walked on both times he has been at the plate. Kane got a solo home run last night and then proceeded to strike out after that. So went 1 for 3 in the ball game last night. Takes first pitch. He sees it. Strike one. Carlos sends that one. It's off the end of the bat. Popped up and foul. And quickly down in the count, 0-2. It'll send some kids racing. They get $1 if they return foul balls to the concession stand here at Cavalier Field. The 0-2 pitch coming from Nahar as he has his sign come set. Delivered. It's another pop-up. It will fall foul out past the dugout of the A's. The A's in the third base dugout. They do that intentionally here at Cavalier Field so that their backs are to the sun. It means that the first base dugout, the visitors get their faces in the sun till it sets here at Cavalier Field. 0-2 pitch coming again. Nahar delivers. And it is ball number 1. Carlos will take a step out of the box. A's have had a couple of people down in the bullpen, but it looked like Nolan Huff, a slow play and not able to make the throw cleanly. It is an error.
Number 10, Ryan Buckley.
So after the error, that brings in Ryan Buckley. Buckley's 0 for 1, grounded out his last time up. If I remember right, this might be as he throwed his first or second is not in time, so a stolen base for Kane Carlos. And a 1-0 count to Buckley. Ryan did get 4 at-bats against the Great Bend Batcats, that game back on June the 1st. Pitch low and outside for ball 2. Buckley had 1 run and 1 hit in that ball game, but struck out 3 times. Was the home opener here at Cavalier Field, the debut of the Boot Hill Lawmen. 2-0 delivery, fouled off into the netting, and the count now 2 balls and 1 strike. Lights on here at Cavalier Field as we go back to work. I have a sneaking suspicion that both teams will make their pitching changes here, as Jaden Andrade at 81 pitches as well. And it is now 15 for Adrian Nahar. run scores after the throw back home on the fielder's choice, so that puts a runner on and still just one away.
Now at the plate, the DH, Zach Hoskins.
So that brings in Zach Hoskins. Hoskins is 0 for in the ball game. A walk and a hit by pitch. It is ball one. Throw over to first, not in time. By the way, the A's lead it 5-1. Hoskins fouls that one off. Count evens itself at 1 apiece. So a 1-1 count. Had a little fun up in the press box. Got to have that sometimes. Called strike to Hoskins, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes, 1 away. Ryan Buckley on at first. Hit into the fielder's choice that scored the run. The A's have scored 3 in the first, 1 in the second, now 1 in the fourth. They lead at 5-1. Both teams with 2 hits as well. Swung on and missed, and making the sweeping tag to get the out. The strike him out, throw him out, and that will end the inning as we are headed to the top. Nolan Huff comes in and takes over the mound for the Dodge City A's. 1 pitch and 1 out as he gets Stokes to ground out to third. A 5-3 ground out and now 1 away. Rios steps in. He's 1 for 2, singled his last time up. Down in the count, 0-1. Pitch is delivered inside, and that will even the count at 1 apiece. One-two pitch coming. Huff kicks and delivers. It's outside. It'll even the count at 2 apiece. So a full count now. A payoff pitch coming from Huff. Fires in, grounded. It is the second baseman Silverio. Throw to first in time, and now 2 away.
Now batting for the Larks, number 20, Braxton Beard.
Braxton Buer steps in. He is 0 for in the ball game, a walk and a hit by pitch. Takes the first pitch for ball number 1. Nolan Huff, the Spearville product on the mound for the A's. 1-0 pitch as he kicks and fires in, and it's low and ball number 2. Two balls and no strikes. Huff takes a long look in. Will go to work. The pitch inside makes it 3-0. Pitch is outside. It's 4-0. Off the end of the bat and foul, and Jesse runs the count full. So a payoff pitch coming here from Nolan Huff as Jesse has struck out and hit into a fielder's choice. Cut off by Carlos, and the throw to first was in time, and that will end the inning. The Larks strand another one. We're headed to the bottom of the 5th. You've been listening to Dodge City A's baseball. Adrian Nahar back on the mound, and Matt Perez takes the first pitch he sees. It's called strike. Down on the count, 0-1. Perez grounded out his last time up. One ball and two strikes account. The A's, we've worked our way into the bottom of the fifth. They lead this game 5-1. The lone run for the Larks came in the top of the second inning. The A's 3 in the first, 1 in the second, and 1 in the fourth. It's Matt Perez line drive back at the third baseman, and 1 away. Comes Paxton Huff. Huff is 1 for 2, singled and an error his last time up. Pitch will wear it on his back, and that'll put a runner aboard for the A's. With 1 out and 1 on, we'll see Blake Coleman. Coleman grounded out his last time up, had a rough night at the plate last night. So he would get a hit by pitch and then proceed to strike out. So the hat trick of strikeouts for Coleman last night. Love to see a little bit of offensive production here tonight. Pitch called strike, throw to second, not in time. One 1-0 pitch coming from Nahar. So he'll fire in, and sends a fly ball out into right field. Charging in was Trent Baker, and he will get out number 2. So that'll bring up Edwin Silverio with 1 out, 2 out, and 1 on. Silverio walked on his last time up. Large crowd still hanging out around the monument statue just to the right of center field. Har yanks one outside, makes it 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch is called strike, and the throw to first is Huff will steal third. A 1-1 count to Silverio. Runner in scoring position for the A's. They'd like to get some insurance here. Silverio sends one out into left field, but pulled down does Dylan LaRue, and the Larks will get out of it with no damage done. We're headed to the top of the 6th. It is 5-1 A's. You've been listening to Dodge City A's baseball. Lane Sparks leading off for the Larks as he'll face Nolan Huff back on the mound for his second inning of work. And it's a 1-1 count as Huff misfires outside for ball 1. Two balls and 1 strike. Make that 3-1 as Huff misfires outside again. Take a look and see if there are other games. Well, the the Liberal BJs split with the Denver Cougars yesterday. Looking for a score update on that one. They were supposed to play earlier this afternoon. Pitch is fouled off again, so we'll see a payoff over again. So the Angels beat the Rough Riders last night 16-9. Actually, that was on Friday night. Payoff pitch, a fly ball. It's out into center field and pulled down by Paxton Huff and one away.
Next up, number 2, Trent Baker.
Looks like the BJs won against the Denver Cougars 11-7 today. They beat the Cougars last night 8-3, but lost the first game of a doubleheader 11-8. So the first pitch down the count 0-1 is Trent Baker. He's 0 for 3 in the ball game. Flew out his last time up. Takes a called strike on the lower half and is down in the count 0-2. Of course, your A's are 0-1 in league play. They are 2-3 overall on the season after falling to the Larks last night. And pitch is in for ball number 1. So a win tonight would make them 1-1 in the league contest. Of course, they play 5 games against every team in the league. A high pop-up and being called for. It is the left fielder Velasco that comes charging in to pull it down, and that is out number 2. So that is 2 away for the Larks and brings in C.J. Reed. Reed is 1 for 2. Doubled his last time up. Both teams with just 2 hits in the ball game. So that pitch is foul out of play to the left field side, and it is a long strike number 1. 0-1 delivery from Nolan Huff. He kicks and fires in. Fouled off this time towards the first base dugout, and quickly down in the count 0-2 is Reed. Called strike 3, freezes Reed, and that will get the Larks to go down 1-2-3 here in the top of the 6th. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Kevin Hammond in to lead off the bottom of the sixth for your A's. He will face a new pitcher as the Larks make the call to the bullpen. It is Brooks Jones who takes over the mound. And an appeal down to first on the check swing. They say no. It is ball number 1. Jones, who works from the third base side of the rubber, and Hammond makes contact. It's out into the Bermuda Triangle. It'll fall in for a hit, and the A's have their leadoff runner aboard. That ball fell into the Bermuda Triangle out there as Reed, Baker, and Sparks were all converging on it, but no one got to it, and that puts runner on. The A's go back to their courtesy runner. It is Jacoby Radcliffe. So here comes Isaiah Velasco. Velasco flew out his last time up, 0 for 2 in the ball game. Jones with a look over at first, and Radcliffe will steal second on the pickoff move. The A's are putting on a theft clinic here tonight. And by theft, I mean stolen bases. So Isaiah Velasco, to see his first pitch from Jones. Shows bunt, pops it up. It falls on the infield. It was over the pitcher's head. It fell in, and it is the 4th hit of the ball game for the Dodge City A's. Radcliffe stayed at second. The A's have 2 on and nobody out.
Now batting, number 19, Kane Carlos.
So here comes Kane Carlos. Kane got on an error his last time up. Walked the previous 2 times before that. Called strike and not able to make a throw, so runners on the corners. Count 0-1. Runner goes again, bunt fielded by the pitcher. The throw not in time, and the A's have him loaded.
Now at the plate, number 10, Ryan Buckley.
Bases are loaded and a pitch low to Buckley. Buckley swings and misses, and that will even the count at 1 apiece. Radcliffe at third. Velasco at second. Carlos at first. Back-to-back bunt singles, and that has loaded the bases, and now a 2-1 count to Ryan Buckley, who singled his last time up. The A's would love to add to their lead here. They lead this ball game 5-1. Worked our way into the bottom of the 6th. The Larks scored their lone run in the top of the 2nd and have been held scoreless since. The A's 3 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, and 1 in the 4th, and are threatening here. 3-1, the count to Ryan Buckley. Buckley, a returner to the A's, worked in limited capacity last year. He was coming back from injury. Up the right field line, and it is out into right field. 1 run will score. Here comes the second. The throw home. Oh, a collision at home plate. We're going to take a step aside here for a little bit for an injured player on the field. I'm sure you saw a little bit of it right before we went into an ad break. There is an injured player. It is the catcher for the Hayes Larks, and we wish him well as athletic training staff and multiple people continue to attend to him on the field. We'll take a step aside. We'll come back after this as we continue to send best wishes and thoughts to Ray Jesse, the injured catcher on the field for the Larks. We'll come back after this. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Okay, after that, and we send good thoughts and well wishes to the injured catcher, Ray Jesse, for the Hayes Larks. Of course, you saw him leaving with medical assistance, and Brooks Jones back on the mound. They made a couple of defensive changes. Dylan LaRue moving to the catcher's position. Trent Baker moved to left, and Nolan Wilson now in right for the Larks. So a hit by pitch will put Hoskins down at first base, and the A's have him loaded again. So to explain what happened, the play before the injury occurred was a hit up the right field line that ended up into right field. 2 runs scored on that as Isaiah Velasco was sliding home. He made contact with the catcher, Ray Jesse, that caused the injury. Kane Carlos was put back at third for the A's due to the ball being out of play, which is how we find ourselves now. So 2 runs scored is a 7-1 ball game. A's have bases loaded with nobody out. Matt Perez at the plate now for the A's. Perez hit a line drive out his last time up. And it is a 2 balls, no strikes count to Perez. Jones delivers outside, and it's 3-0. There is a run rule at this level, which we saw last night, the run rule 10 after 7. The 3-0 pitch right down the middle, and it's a called strike. Makes it 3-1. The 3-1 pitch is well outside, and that'll walk a run in. The A's lead it 8-1. So the A's have now scored 3 in the 6th.
Now batting, number 13, Paxton Huff.
Brings in Paxton Huff. Huff has 1 for 2. He was hit by pitch his last time up. The first pitch over the heart of the plate for strike number 1. Down in the count, 0-2 is Huff. Huff makes contact. He'll foul it off. It's back over the press box. Count remains 0-2. We're in the bottom of the 6th. The A's leading 8-1. The A's 8 runs on 6 hits, no errors. The Larks 1 run on 2 hits and 3 errors. Huff fouls that one off again. Count remains 0-2. The 5th pitch of the at-bat coming. Pitch swung on and foul tipped, and that will be the first out of the inning. So that'll bring in Blake Coleman. Coleman is 0 for 3 in the ball game. He flew out his last time up.
Number 24, Blake Coleman.
So the A's with Buckley at third, Hoskins at second, and Perez at first. Still looking to do damage with 1 away. They've scored 3 in the inning so far, and the pitch is outside. It is ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Jones delivers. It's swung on, fouled up the third base line towards Coach McCollum, and it evens a count at 1 apiece. Coleman swings and comes up empty. He's down in the count 1-2. 1-2 delivery up the middle to the second baseman. Go to second for one. The throw to first in time. The double play ball. And that will end the inning as the A's load them and get runs, but that will send us to the top of the seventh. You've been listening to Dodge City A's baseball.
Hey fans, I had it.
Fans, it is the ketchup, mustard, and hot dog race. Ketchup and mustard are tied at 1 apiece. Ketchup out to a big lead, and it will be Ketchup taking the win to take the series to 2-1 for Ketchup. Hot dog still yet to come in and make a win in the ketchup, hot dog, and mustard race. So we will go back to work. Nolan Huff is going to return to the mound for the Dodge City A's. So we've worked our way to the top of the seventh. We'll go ahead. Let's thank some of our sponsors. We haven't done that in a while. You've been seeing our sponsor ads, but let's take this opportunity to thank some of our sponsors who make Dodge City A's baseball possible. So we'll start with our Grand Slam sponsors, the City of Dodge City and Ford County, the Community Foundation of Southwest Kansas, Lewis Automotive Group, Curbs Law Office, LLC. We thank you for your sponsorship and support of Dodge City A's baseball. We'll continue on with our home run sponsors, Cargill Meat Solutions, Lauren Dahl, I Don't Care Family Restaurant and Sports Bar, LLC, Parker Haskins Insurance Incorporated, TCBP LLC Jimmy John's, the Victory Electric Cooperative Association Incorporated, and Forgone Financial LLC, Koch Fertilizer, Deriva Energy, Rabine Brothers, United Wireless Communications Incorporated, and Dodge City Kenworth. We thank our home run sponsors for your sponsorship and support of Dodge City A's baseball. Top of the seventh, the A's leading this game 8-1. Nolan Huff back on the mound in a leadoff hit by Jackson Babcock, and that gets a leadoff runner aboard for the Hayes Larks. Babcock was 0 in the ballgame, had walked all 3 times he had been at the plate. Gets a leadoff single there to get the inning started for the Larks. That'll bring up Dylan LaRue. LaRue, now the catcher for the Larks, is 0-3. Flew out his last time up. Fouls one at the third base dugout. Down in the count, 0-1. Runner on and nobody out for the Larks. They've had scoring opportunities at multiple points throughout the ball game, but have been held to just 1 run. That came back in the second. A high fly ball. It'll be headed down the right field line, and it will be caught in fair territory right inside the line by the right fielder Blake Coleman, out number 1. So that'll bring up Tabor Stokes.
Next up for the Larks, number 6, Tabor Stokes.
Stokes is 0-2, grounded out his last time up. First pitch down low for ball number 1. One 0 pitch coming from Huff. Comes in. Left a little bit high on the fastball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Two 2-0 delivery. Huff kicks and fires right down the heart of the plate, called strike. Stokes might have thought it was a little bit high, but it's a called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. That pitch inside, and it's 3-1. Strike 2 called, so the count runs full. Stokes sure thought it was ball 4. We'll go to work, and we'll see a payoff pitch coming from Nolan Huff. Huff, of course, from Sparrowville, played on the JV squad at McPherson College. Grounded up the middle, fielded by Carlos for 1. The throw to first was not in time, but they get the leadoff runner 2 away. So that'll bring up Lorenzo Rios. Rios is 1 for 3. He grounded out his last time up. 2 away for the Larks. Grounded to the second baseman, Silverio. Throw to first in time, and that will end the inning. It is stretch time in Dodge City. We're headed to the bottom of the 7th. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball.
Silverio.
Edwin Silverio leads off for your Dodge City A's. 0 for 2 flew out his last time up. Brooks Jones back on the mound for the Larks, delivers ball number 1 to Silverio. The A's with a win tonight will move to 1-1 in league play. It would also improve to 3-3 on the season. Pitch was inside, ball 2. 2-0 delivery. Jones misses outside, and it's 3 balls and no strikes.
Now at the plate, number 34, Kevin Hammond.
So a 4-pitch walk, and that brings in the catcher, Kevin Hammond. Hammond is 1 for 2, singled his last time up. Pitch down the heart of the plate. Strike number 1 to Hammond. Jones with a long look over at first. He'll deliver in. Golf swinging to the third baseman. They'll go to second for 1. They get the out at first. The double play, 2 away.
Now batting, number 16, Isaiah Velasco.
So this brings in Isaiah Velasco. Velasco, a bunt single over the catcher or pitcher's head the last time he was up. 2 away for the A's. Check swing, and it is ball number 1. Peeled down and no indication, so it is ball 1. Jones fires in, misses to the inside. 2 balls and no strikes account for Velasco. It was Isaiah Velasco that was involved in the collision at home between the A's and the catcher Ray Jesse. And it is a 3-0 count. Four-pitch walk, and that puts Velasco on. So we'll go to work here.
Number 6, Edward Gregory Jr.
And the A's are making a substitution as Edward Gregory Jr. will hit for Kane Carlos. So we'll go to work. 2 out, 1 on. Gregory Jr. getting his first at-bats of the night. Takes the pitch outside. It is ball number 1. Jones has thrown 40 pitches already since taking over the mound. There is no work in either bullpen that gets through the catcher's legs, and that will move Velasco over to second. So the defensive changes the Larks made in the last inning, they moved LaRue from the outfield to catcher, and Nolan Wilson went to right after moving Trent Baker to left field. So that is fouled off. Count now 2 balls and 1 strike. Two-one pitch, swung on and foul tipped to even the count at 2 apiece. Deuces wild across the scoreboard. Here comes the pitch from Jones as he's set. Fires in. It's called strike 3, and that will end the inning. We are headed to the top of the 8th. It is an 8-1 ball game. You've been listening to Dodge City A's baseball.
Tuesday and Wednesday.
2 outs for the Larks as Lane Sparks see ball 2 go down low. So the first out, Braxton Buer, a diving stop by Edward Gregory Jr. at short to make the first throw to first in time. That was out number 1. And then Dylan LaRue grounded out to short as well. Pitch misses outside, and that'll put a runner on. So that'll bring in Trent Baker. Baker is 0 for 4 in the ball game. He flew out his last time up. So some defensive changes for your Dodge City A's. From left to right in the outfield, it is Isaiah Velasco, Paxton Huff, Blake Coleman. Third to first across the infield, it is Matt Perez at third, Edward Gregory Jr. at short, Silverio at second, And Jaden Moreno takes over at first. Throw to second, not in time. It is ball one and a stolen base for Sparks. 2 away in a 1-1 count. Baker sends that one out into right field. It'll drop on the warning track. That'll score a run. And Baker in with a stand-up double. So the Larks showing a little bit of life here as they get a stand-up double from Baker.
Now to plate number 1, C.J. Reed.
That will bring in C.J. Reed. Reed got caught looking his last time up. Reed grounds one to Moreno. Throw over to Huff covering, and he bobbles it. It'll go to the dugout, and that'll score a run.
Up next for the Larks, number 5, Jackson Babcock.
So that brings in Jackson Babcock. Is 8-3 A's as the Larks have scored 2, their most offensive production in this ball game. First pitch in for ball number 1. One 0 misses outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. There is a pitcher headed to the bullpen for the Larks. That pitch is outside. The snap throw down to first, not in time. 3-0 the count. To Babcock. 3-0 pitch misses high. 4-pitch walk, and that puts runners on first and second. So after the Larks get a back-to-back groundouts and 2 away, they have scored 2 runs with 2 outs and have runners on first and second. I have a mound visit between Coach Jeremiah McCollum and the entire infield. Let's take this opportunity to go ahead and thank some more of our sponsors. Our triple sponsors, Conant Construction LLC, Wild Pines Washes Dodge City LLC, Tommy's Car Wash, First Avenue Dental PA, ITC Great Plains LLC, Hinton Plumbing Service LLC, Medical Heights Dental Center PA, DC Appliance and Furniture, and Dodge City Eye Care, who is tonight's game night sponsor. We thank you for your sponsorship and support of Dodge City A's baseball. So after that mound visit is over, we'll go back to work. It is Dylan LaRue at the plate for the Hayes Larks. My guess is that was Nolan Wilson that was the second ground out. That pitch swung on and missed. Down in the count, 0-1. LaRue flew out his last time up. The pitch from Huff fouled off the end of the bat to the third base side, and LaRue down in the count, 0-2. Foul tipped. And that will be out number 3. We are headed to the bottom of the 8th. The A's lead at 8-3. You've been listening to Dodge City A's baseball. Jaden Moreno beats out a infield single.
Next up for the A's, number 9, Zach Hoskins.
So some defensive changes again for the Hayes Larks. It is Trent Baker on the mound. Nolan Wilson moves from right to left. And Braxton Buer goes out into right field. A stolen base for Moreno on ball number 1 to Hoskins. Hoskins is 0 for 1. He was hit by pitch his last time up. Shows bunt, goes foul. To even the count at 1 apiece. Nobody out. And a runner in scoring position with Jaden Moreno after he stole second. Moreno beat out the infield single. And now stands on second. A's lead at 8-3. Pitch low and outside. It is 2 balls and 1 strike. Two-one delivery. Baker, it goes back up the middle. It'll roll out into right field. Moreno will be held up at third. And that'll put runners on the corners. So that brings up Matt Perez. Perez walked on his last time up, and the A's are going to put a pitch runner on. Ethan Kang running for the A's. He is at first. A swing and a miss from Perez. He is down 0-1. Perez walked on his last time up. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. So Moreno at third, Kang at first. Pitches low and evens a count at 1 apiece. Nobody out. Runners on the corners for the A's are trying to add to their lead after the Larks scored 2 in the top of the 8th. Pitch called strike. Has Perez down in the count 1-2. This game nearing the 3-hour mark, but we had a long delay in play after an injury to a Larks player. As a pitch misses outside, it will even the count at 2 apiece. Kang goes. The throw down. It is ball 3, and the throw to second, an throwing error, and that scores a run. So Matt Perez with a full count, and the payoff pitch now from Baker. The pitch misses, and it is ball 4, so the payoff puts runners on first and second, and the A's lead it 9-3. So that brings in Paxton Huff. Huff is 1 for 3. A foul tip, strike 3, his last time up. First pitch is low outside, blocked by the catcher LaRue, and it is ball 1. LaRue wants a new ball. Baker wants a new ball. Also want to give a shout out to Danny Fender and Chris Woodruff. They were out here by about 4:30 working on the warning track after the thunderstorm that passed through Dodge City earlier this afternoon. They came out and was working on getting the warning track dried up so that we could play this game. So a 2-0 count to Huff. And the pitch right down the middle is called strike. Makes it 2 balls and 1 strike. Baker looking in, working from the right or first base side of the rubber, and swung on and coming up empty. Evens a count at 2 apiece. Wind has died down significantly. The flag in outfield is all but pointing straight down. Pitch was fouled off for Huff to stay alive. 2 on, nobody out. 1 run has scored. Pitch is fouled off.
Please get the foul balls back to the concession stand. Thank you.
So the A's, after tonight, they'll travel to Augusta, Kansas tomorrow to take on the Kansas Cannons, another non-league game. Huff fouls that one off. They will then return home and face these Hayes Larks back here at Cavalier Field on Wednesday. That begins a long homestand of several games in a row for the A's. The A's will host the Colorado Rough Riders in a 4-game series starting on Thursday evening. So they will play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against the Rough Riders here at Cavalier Field. A full count and runners now at second and third. The payoff pitch. Baker steps off. He'll reset the clock. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming to Huff. Popped foul and out of play, and will do the payoff over again. Who's going to win this battle? It is the 9th pitch of the at-bat now coming to Huff. Trent Baker looking in and has his signs. The payoff, part 2. Called strike 3. Baker wins this one. It'll send Huff back to the dugout. And it is out number 1. That brings up Blake Coleman. Coleman 0 for 4, grounded out the last time he was up.
Next up, number 24, Blake Coleman.
So we'll see the first pitch to Coleman, a called strike on the outer part of the plate. Has him down in the count 0-1. Well, the Larks needed someone to come in and throw strikes, and that has been Trent Baker. Pitch outside, gets away from the catcher, and that will score a run on a wild pitch. A's lead at 10-3. They've scored 2 runs here in the bottom of the 8th. Coleman sends that one foul up the third base side, and count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sparks out in the outfield and center field getting some stretching in. 1-2 delivery off the end of the bat, and it will go foul to our right and out of play. Count stands at 1-2. The A's trying to win their 3rd game of the season and their first in RMBL League play. Coleman swings and misses. He'll go down on strikes. That is 2 away for the Dodge City A's and brings in Edwin Silverio. Silverio's 0 for 2, walked on his last time up. pitch is ball one. Called strike to Silverio that evens a count at 2 apiece. Silverio makes contact. He'll send one out into center field, but pulling it down does Sparks. That'll end the inning. The A's score 2. They lead it 10-3. We're headed to the top of the ninth. And the final 3 outs for the Larks. They have to score 7 to extend it. We're headed to the top of the ninth. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. The Larks are 3 outs away from falling to the A's and falling to 1-1 in league play. The A's are 3 outs away from winning their first league game of the season. Back-to-back balls to Tabor Stokes, who hit into a fielder's choice his last time up. The A's do have a pitcher in the bullpen. We'll see if they decide to go to it. Huff fires a big swing and a miss by Stokes, and that'll make the count 2-1. So the A's, after getting run ruled last night, are looking to pick up the first win of the season against the Larks. They have lost 2 games, and the pitch right back up the middle.
Now batting number 21, Lorenzo Rios.
So that brings in Lorenzo Rios. Rios grounded out his last time up. Fouls one up the first base line. Down in the count, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch from Huff. It misses outside. It will even the count at 1 apiece. That pitch is fouled off. Rios down in the count, 1-2. He's 1 for 4, grounded out the last time he was up. Hammond makes a good block behind home plate. The snap throw down to first. So they say that Rios was hit by pitch, and that puts runners on first and second with nobody out. First pitch, high and inside for ball one to Buer. That one misses low and outside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Pitch is fouled off. 2 balls and 1 strike. Snap throw down to first, and it is rolling away. So it moves. Ball 4 was issued by Nolan Huff, and that loads the bases with nobody out. Brings in Nolan Wilson. Wilson grounded out his last time up. Quick visit out on the mound between Hammond and Huff. And we will go back to work.
Now into bat, number 30, Nolan Wilson.
Wilson takes the first pitch. It's a called strike. Well framed by Hammond. It was called strike number 1. Huff fires and delivers. It's ball number 1, left a little bit high. Count 1-1. The A's desperately like to get an out here. The 1-1 delivery fouled back into the fence. And that gets Nolan down in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nolan Wilson, the batter for the Hayes Larks. Wilson, normally a pitcher, it is popped up, fielded by Gregory Jr. out in shallow left field. And that is out number 1. So Wilson, normally a right-handed pitcher from the University of Cumberland's, was a junior, comes from Hockley, Texas, and the first pitch to Sparks called strike, down in the count 0-1. Bases loaded with 1 away. Sparks takes the first pitch strike. He walked on his last time up. Sparks is 0 for 3 in the ball game. Pitch is blocked by Hammond, and count evens itself at 1 apiece. So after going 2 for 4 with 3 runs scored and a walk last night, Sparks is 0 for 3 in this ball game. The 2-1 pitch is fouled off to even the count at 2 apiece. Stokes at third, Rios at second, Buer at first for the Larks in this bases loaded situation. 1 out. They need 7 to extend, so the pitch grounded to the second baseman, Silverio. Throw to second and throw to first is in time. The double play will end the ball game. The A's win it here tonight, 10-3. We'll take a step aside, come back with your final game wrap-up after this. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Welcome back into Cavalier Field as the A's are victorious here tonight. They win the game 10-3, your final. The A's 10 runs on 8 hits, 2 errors. They strand 10 runners. The Larks 3 runs, 5 hits. They commit 4 errors. They stranded 16 runners. That will be something that the Larks, I guarantee you, will be a haunting nightmare as they look back on this game. And what a game it was, as the A's would pop out early. They would score early and often, and that would be the deciding factor in the game. Jaden Andrade gets the win on the mound for the Dodge City A's. He goes 4 innings. Let's take a look at his performance. Jaden Andrade goes 4 innings, faces 23 batters, allows just 1 run, strikes out 1 on 2 hits, and walks 6. Nolan Huff would come in to take up the final 5 innings of the ball game. He faces 23 batters, allowing 2 runs, striking out 2, and walking 4. He allows 3 hits as well. So Andrade gets the win. Jordan Stribling will take the loss for the Larks. Offensively for the A's, it was a clinic in stolen bases here tonight. The A's with 8 stolen bases on the evening here at Cavalier Field. So the A's would get started early. They would get started in the bottom of the first. A walk by Kane Carlos, followed by a Ryan Buckley walk, and then a Zach Hoskins walk that would load the bases. Matt Perez would come up and draw the RBI walk as well. And then a single by Paxton Huff that would give the A's the 3-0 lead at the time. In the bottom of the second, Kevin Hammond would draw the walk and then come around and score. Then in the fourth, the A's would get an error from Kane Carlos. He would get on and then come around and score. And then in the sixth, Kevin Hammond would come up again as the leadoff, hit a single, a bunt single by Isaiah Velasco, and then a bunt single by Kane Carlos that would load the bases for the Dodge City A's. A single from Ryan Buckley would drive a run in, and then a hit by pitch would load him back up again. Matt Perez would walk a run in as well in the sixth. The A's would get 2 more runs then in the eighth, as Jaden Moreno would lead off with a single, followed by an Ethan Kang single, and then a walk by Matt Perez. So the A's win it 10-8. They avenge the 13-3 run rule loss last night. The A's are back in action tomorrow night at the Kansas Cannons in Augusta. It will be at Augusta High School. First pitch set for 7 p.m. right here on YouTube. I am Justin Hergert, assisted by Amory on the live stream, saying farewell and good night from Cavalier Field. You have been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball.